What's up everyone, Subterranean here, and today we're going to learn how to make this sound. This is a very heavily used sound in subgenres of house music, especially the deep and future house genres. Sounds similar to this have been used by artists like Oliver Heldens and many others. So, we're going to start by going to Dune 2, and we're going to initialize the patch by clicking on Patch, and then clicking Initialize. And we're going to start with our first oscillator, which we are going to change to a WT, which stands for wavetable, and we're going to change the wavetable to an MH feedback FM3. This is an interesting wavetable, as it's a sound that's already been made with FM synthesis, and now it's being imported back into Dune 2 as a wavetable. This is what the wavetable sounds like. Pretty bland, but we're not actually going to do anything to it here, seeing how we're going to be modulating the position of it using the mod matrix later. Now we're going to go to our second oscillator, we're going to set it to an FM, we're going to set the density to 1, and we're going to play with the volume using the Oscillator Mixer. So let's take our fader and drag it up. Somewhere around 27% should be good. But we're going to set the amount on A to 92, and we're going to leave the amount on B and C as default. We're also going to set the key track all the way down, so we have a consistent sound that doesn't change in volume. We'll leave the ratio of A on the default, but we're going to play with the ratio of B to see if we get a good sound. I like it on 3, and now we'll do the same thing for C. We'll leave that on 4. That sounds really good. Now we're going to go back to our oscillator mixer, and we're going to play with the volume of the noise to see if we get a good sound. We'll set it to about 43%. The noise seems kind of loud and overpowering right now, but the modulation we'll do in a minute is going to fix that. Now we're going to go to our filter. We're going to leave it on the default CL low pass 2 poles filter, and we'll turn the cutoff all the way down. Now we're going to click on our mod matrix, and this is where the sound really comes alive and starts to sound good. We're going to go to source 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to change all of those to a filter envelope. We'll set the amount of all of those to plus 100. We'll set the destination of the first one to oscillator 1's wavetable position. Set the second one to oscillator 2's wavetable position, and set the third one to the filter cutoff. And now we have this. We're almost there, but there's still a few improvements that need to be made to the sound. We're going to go to our amplitude envelope, we're going to take the attack and decrease it a little bit to 5%, we're going to turn the sustain all the way down, and let's play with the decay and see if we get a good sound. Somewhere around 63%. Not a huge difference, but I think it sounds a little bit better. And for our last step, we're going to spice this sound up a little bit by adding a reverb. Usually, I like to use Ableton's reverb plugin, but I actually really like the reverb that's built into Dune 2, so we'll use that. We're going to click on the Activate button just below reverb, and let's play with the time and see if we get a good sound. That's a bit too much. Somewhere around 1.3 seconds. I like that. We'll leave the pre-delay and high filter damp the same. And let's set the low cut to about 82. A nice subtle reverb that doesn't get muddied up with low frequencies. We're going to leave the color and mod amount the same. And now let's tweak the dry wet and see if we get a good sound. Just a little bit down at 18%. And there we have our sound. This is a relatively simple sound, which is why I didn't use any external effects. Although if you're going to be using this in a full song, I'd suggest adding an EQ. I'm going to add an EQ8. And that would take out all the unnecessary low end, because it would probably be a good idea to use a separate sub bass on your song. So we'll take our first EQ, we'll change it to a low cut times 4, and we'll just cut out those unnecessary frequencies. Don't want to cut out too much or else it becomes too thin. Somewhere around 60 Hz is good. So that was my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video and leave a comment, as it really helps us out. and please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.